Welcome back to the Dad Pack, y'all. Um, got another episode coming at you guys. First off, before we kick it off, last episode I had asked y'all to hit the likes, hit the subs, all that kind of stuff, and I gotta say thank you. You guys nailed it, man. We had the highest likes and subs that we've had on our videos for a while. So just want to say thank you to all the people who actually came in and supported us. Of course, you know, if you wouldn't mind, we would love for you guys to do that again. So just attack it at the front of the episode here. If you like the content, please like, follow, subscribe, hit the bell for our YouTube stuff. We're having a lot of good growth on YouTube. So if you're a visual person, come check our stuff on YouTube. Of course, we're also on Apple, Spotify, Google, Breaker, all that kind of stuff, wherever you find podcasts. I think actually Spotify, now that I'm uploading videos, I think Spotify is actually showing the videos that I'm uploading on YouTube as well as on Spotify. So cool new function that they added to the I guess Spotify upload stuff. Still kind of new to all this kind of stuff, so we're getting it all down now. But just want to say appreciate you guys for doing that for us. We're still trying to grow the show. Yeah. But okay, so the as always, I'm joined here by Ryan. Jordan was gonna make it on this episode, but had a little hiccup going on, so hopefully we'll have him back next week. No big deal. So we're going to do it like we did last week. We're going to hit Dadvise first, and then we're going to have some football pack news kind of at the back end of the episode here. So if you want to stick around for that, we'd really appreciate it. So for this week, we'll just go ahead and hit it on the top here. I had it in my notes. Sorry. All right. So we got children will change your marriage. How did it change yours? I kind of ran into an article that I don't remember if it was in a magazine or if it was in a something I was reading, but I don't remember. But basically, it was a couple parents, how they were talking about the different stages of where they were within their marriage and where they were in their parenting, and they were all kind of discussing and talking about how it had changed from, you know, basically the easiest way to put it is like chapters from, you know, not having, when you get newly married, not having kids, to having your first child, to having your second and third child if you wanted to do that, and then how your marriage has kind of grown and flourished since then, or has it, you know, gone downhill since then? You know, what were the trials and tribulations that you kind of went through from there? And I thought it was an interesting article to read about the different perspectives of everybody, because it was all over the place. Everybody's parenting experience was so different from everybody else's, and a lot of it had to like echo through their marriages too. So the people who were talking about having, you know, difficulty through parenting were also talking about having difficulties in their marriage. So I kind of thought it coincided together. If your marriage was kind of having some rocky issues, it seemed a lot like, to me as a reader, that your parenting was kind of struggling as well, at least from what they were saying inside the article. But from the Dad Pack perspective, you know, from both sides here, you know, we'll give our 2 cents on it, and, you know, we'll start traditionally like we do with Ryan. So what I was going to ask Ryan is, because I don't know myself, how long were you and your wife married before you guys actually had? Because you had a child previously before, in a previous marriage before you know, your wife now, Stacy. So how long did you guys go before having your first child?
No idea. I have no idea.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, it's not like you originally got married and then like just like 9 months later you popped a kid out. You know what I mean? Like there had to have been some
it was a couple of years. I think it was a couple of years.
That's what I kind of figured.
Yeah, I think it was 2 or 3 years, maybe. It wasn't super fast.
No,
we planned it.
Which I will say, bro, it some people knock it and stuff, because for me and my wife, it was 8 years before we had our first kid, which seems like a long time, but dude, like that's when I think we did our most growing and like built our foundation up, at least in my marriage. You know what I mean? That's where we did our foundational building before we became parents. But anyways, back to you. How did it change, bro? Because if you had a couple years, it had to have changed. Or I mean, I guess maybe it didn't, because you had a teenager at the time.
So I don't know, like, it was like the first marriage, it rocked our marriage, you know, that we weren't ready.
Would you say it's one of the reasons why you guys got divorced? If that's too much, we don't have to answer that.
I just don't know. I just, you know, that could have been an inevitable. But it whenever you're already,
bro, it puts pressure on you guys. You know what I mean? It does.
You're not ready. You're not. I was young. no excuses, but I was young, and it's shocking to have a kid, and
Oh,
you're
it's a
not
big
ready
wake up
for it,
call.
and nobody's
Yeah.
sleeping, and you really haven't had time to build the foundation of your own marriage and what's really
Yep.
going on, and nobody's sleeping. There's no money. There's no you're barely making your bills. It's not the kid's fault. It's your
Dude,
fault.
I
Here
feel
you
like
are.
you inevitably go through the roommate phase without even knowing it. You know what I mean? Where it's like you guys have so much responsibility on each on yourselves, on each other, on your marriage, on your finances that the baby needs everything. You're trying to divide your attention up that you just go through a weird roommate phase where you're just coexisting together. And you're doing it for the benefit of the child, and it's not like you don't like your spouse, but it's just something that happens between the times, you know what I mean, when you have your child. And me and my wife went the same thing too. It was the same kind of thing, but I'm sure, you know,
Gotta
but
be
through both of
strong.
your marriages is probably the same thing. I feel like a lot of
The
it, and on the article I saw that too. A lot of them were saying that they went through a a phase like that, shall I say?
you're just trying to make it, and so
Yeah.
if your marriage is not strong, can definitely negatively affect that. And so you gotta build that up. I watched the weird part between the first marriage and the second marriage was that I watched, one mom decide that, oh, we're gonna do all these different things. It's gonna, the first mom stage, and then I did the first mom stage again with Stacy, and it was just it's probably annoying to
Oh
her. It
boy,
was
you had
kind
to
of
go
funny to
through
me.
nesting twice, boy.
It was no, you're not. I know you
Yeah.
think no, you're not. You're not going to do that. And I thought I
Yeah.
was being helpful, but it was not very helpful at all because she was, no, I'm the mom. This is what we're going to do. We're going to have the best this, the best that. And I'm like, you're wasting your money. You're wasting your time. That this is not, you're going to be buying trash
Yes.
diapers here very soon.
Yes,
You're going to
bro.
be
I
throwing
went
butt
through
crack
all
on
of
the,
that.
on the
You
butt.
don't need
And you're going to be
any of
more,
it.
yep.
My son
That,
still is 3 years old and plays with a shoebox and finds entertainment with that. You
you,
don't need any of it.
you,
It's all
none of it.
for you as the parent. It's all
Yep.
for you. I
Yep.
wish I'd have known. And I feel like you told me this too,
I
Ryan. You
absolutely told you
told
that.
me. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely told me. And there was
Yeah, but
nothing I could do about it.
I
There
also
was nothing I
told
could do
you,
about it, bro. She wanted what she
don't
wanted.
yeah, do not mess with the mom about it. She's in charge. Let her do her thing.
Bro, I remember
That's
when I thought the wipe warmer for the wipies was a thing. I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be
trash,
great. We're gonna put that on red."
trash,
I never
trash.
used it, bro. At
It's so
three,
bad.
4 in the morning, when you're trying to just make it through wiping some butt and put the baby back down, you are not worried
I'm
about
gonna
no
suggest
freaking wipe warmer, bro. It was the most
one there's
ridiculous thing ever.
there's
Oh
one
my
thing
god.
I'll suggest, and there's maybe newer, better stuff now. The diaper genie. Those that poop out of water is
Okay,
just terribly smelling.
okay, you're right there, but I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. You could totally get the little doggy bags that that you put you pick your dog's poop up with and put it in little doggy
Oh,
bags.
you can put it in a
You
Target
could
bag.
totally
Yeah,
you could do it with the Target bag and just throw it in the trash can. Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry, but if you have a decent trash bag in your trash can, it already takes out the like the stench of your regular trash. You know what I mean? So like, bro, I've used that 1,000 times too. I understand the diaper genie, and I do understand for the ugly
It
ones,
works.
like the blowout ones, they do work. The problem
It
that I
works.
have with the diaper genie,
I hate I
yeah,
hate I hate the bad parts of it that they're terrible, but it's also I don't know, like you go through the sicknesses, you go through all that other stuff. It does help your marriage if you do it right, I'm sure. There there are you know, you can work as a team, you can figure it out. You need to help your wife be selfish. She needs time. You need to figure that
yeah,
out.
because
That's
they're gonna feel
not
guilty,
easy.
bro. I've had this conversation with my
Yeah.
wife where I've had to tell her like it's okay for you just to go grab a Starbucks, go to Hobby Lobby, and just like
Yeah.
go be you for 2 to 3 hours. And she's like, "Well, no, because that's time away that I'm not spending with you guys. That's time the way that I'm not helping around the house. This time, you know what I mean." My wife is a very prioritizer. She likes her list. She likes to get things done. She's like that. So to tell her to go and get away, it's kind of a problem for her. She didn't like doing that because she didn't feel like she was being like valuable to the family. Where that had nothing to do with it, because you can't have the mom or the dad can't be the best if they're not taking care of themselves first. So I need you to take care of you. That way you can be okay for us.
Yeah. I think
And
that's not an easy thing to do.
no, and it's not
One
an easy thing to explain either.
for me, it's always very easy to be selfish. I'm cool with it. I'm fine. Like I need a moment and I'm taking it. And that's
Yeah.
that's where I don't care. Women are naturally they're just attached to that baby. They can't help
Yep.
it, and they don't want to take that time. I think it's important to take that time. It's important to still keep your marriage going and have a date night here and there. I think you have to learn that. It's not an easy thing. Who babysits infants? Who do you trust? Who do you
Bro,
like?
and
That's
it
not
gets, especially when you have two, like a
easy.
toddler and an infant, like that's got to be tough too. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah, your
that's
hands are
two
full.
different kids. Yeah, that's terrible. You know what I mean?
You don't
Uh,
want to take them
it,
out. You don't want to take an infant out. It's fine, but you know when you take them out, they're going to cry during the dinners
a
at some
risk,
point in
bro.
time.
It's a
Everybody's
risk no
looking at
matter what.
you.
Yeah.
Most people understand, some don't. Most understand, but it's still like you feel like you're ruining everybody else's dinner. So that kind of it's just a mood killer. Like
Where
you got to
before it
learn how
was
to
just you and
work
your
around it.
spouse, and you guys just chilling, drinking, handling your business, and you just go to the restaurant, go eat, go back home, deal with whatever you got to deal with, go back home. Like it was crazy. Like if I would have known what I know now, would I have done things differently? I don't think so. I just
I
wish
would
that I would have valued my time differently. You know what I mean? Before
I would
that, I would have
have
taken a little bit
taken
more
full
risks with
advantage of
like,
that.
yeah, I would have taken a
You
little more
forget.
risks like financially stuff. Like that's kind of more where I've gone with it. But like now, I feel like I have to be a little more steady. I have to be less risk taking and all that kind of stuff. You know, for retirement and all that kind of stuff down the road because I don't want to. I don't want to risk too much and then mess up the household or whatever's going on. Or I don't want to throw the flow off with you know what I mean, like all the bills and stuff. Like I just don't want to do all that. Where earlier in my 20s when we were younger, I wish we'd have done more, but I always thought that I had more time. You know what I mean? And even now, I still do. I'm sure in my 40s and 50s, I'll be looking at my 30s like, what were you doing? You know what I mean? You could have taken more. So like, it's always out
It
in front
never
of
goes
me.
away.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I'm thinking, and that's probably what held me up the most of the time in my 20s was I always like, oh, I'll do it next year, or I'll have more time later down the road. Where I had Carson when I was 28, where I feel like I probably could have had him at 25 and been a little better off. So it's this weird balance of like, did we do wrong by waiting so long? Did we do right by going and waiting longer? Like it was kind of this weird balance. Uh, but now at the end of it, it's worked its way out. But yeah, dude, before kids, dude, it was a whole different life. I was a whole different person too. Like for the viewer on the podcast, I was not who I am now. My son has like changed me to my core. The person that I was, and maybe Ryan could attest to it. But I the way that I view the world now was not how I view the world before kids. It's just not, and you can't view the same way. Like it's just you can't. Uh,
It's it's a different kind of. If you never had a kid and you end up being 50, 60 years old, and you never had a kid. I'm sure you matured in a
for sure,
particular way, but having a kid, it nips that in the butt really, really fast.
it
You have
makes
to
you grow up
mature,
real quick. Yeah,
and
yeah.
that is it's a wonderful thing, but it's a very unsure thing at first. Very unsure. I remember being very unsure. Like what?
About everything, bro. I
How am
have
I
no
supposed
idea
to
what we're
provide?
doing
I
in
can
here, right?
barely.
Yes.
I'm playing Halo. What in the world am I doing with a kid? I'm playing Halo. Like,
Yeah.
that is my highlight of my life is playing Halo and hooking up with like 4 other Xboxes and
Oh,
playing
bro, the
and making sure
landline
the dude
days.
next to me doesn't screen watch. That's
Yes, that was the most I ever worried about and did. That's what our original. But when me and Ryan were first becoming friends, we bonded over Halo. It was fantastic. It
oh
was
yeah,
great. It was
love video games.
Halo
There
3.
and
Yeah, love it.
there's a place for that. You put your kid right here and you can still
It's
do
an
this.
art, baby. It's an art. I used
Or
to sling him right over my shoulder. I'd be able to just to do this right here. It was right when Warzone came out in 2020.
yeah,
Yeah, it was
I
the good
loved it.
time of gaming, dude. Yeah. All right, so we know before kids that you got a lot of free time. I'm not going to say your life is stress free, but before kids, you should be doing a lot of communication and foundational build up with your wife. What that looks for you is going to be different for every household. What that looks like for me and what it looks for Ryan is two way different things because obviously the situations we're in now. After kids, you're going to inevitably, and Ryan, you could talk about this too on your side, you're inevitably going to go through something. It's going to be a rocky patch. It's going to be a lack of
Oh, yeah.
communication. It's going to be something. Something is going to go up or down between you and your spouse. It could be a good thing or a bad thing. I really don't know. And some marriages make it through. Some of them don't. I'll tell you now, ours, me and my wife, was a lack of communication because she had an idea on how we should do one thing. I had an idea how we should do another thing or the same thing. And, we had to meet in the middle. And it was because of our two different ways that we were brought up in our houses. And we had to find a happy medium that worked for us. But it wasn't really anything that we had talked about before. And then also, you go through the monotony of every day of, what is it, short or long days, short years, where it was like we were going through and it was like freaking Groundhog Day every day. It was like the same thing. You know what I mean? Wake up at 3 in the morning, wake up at 6 in the morning, and then you're gonna just trying to get through the first few months. And then after you get through the first few months, and then, now you got to go back to work. And then now you're trying to rotate between being a parent, being a husband, and going back to work. And then now you're trying to figure out this whole new routine and then childcare. Like you're going to go through some stuff like you know what I mean if you're a parent, you know what I'm talking about, and then you add more kids onto it, it's the same thing. So like the roommate phase is a real thing. The best thing that I can say to help you out with it is exactly what Ryan's talking about, is trying to take the initiative and do date nights. And I'm talking about like you planning the date nights, dude, you doing it.
So I don't do a great job of
I do a terrible job, bro.
of,
I'm
of
with you,
I
but
do
it's the
remember
effort.
it.
My
I
wife
do I
wants
do
the
get
effort.
there, and I do try. I think that we all forget that our wives were little girls once that wanted a knight in shining armor, and we're not going to go and ride a horse and cut people's heads off.
That's a
So
good way to put it. Yeah.
what what do we do?
Oh,
We'll
but in my
fight for your
mind,
wife.
bro, in my mind, that's who I am. I
I'm
want you to
I'm
know
a
that.
dragon slayer, baby. Yeah, no doubt about it.
That's exactly
No
who I
doubt.
am. Yeah,
But
yeah,
but in reality, I think when your wife sees you fight for her time, fight for her when you fight for that time to bond or to work as a team and support, like that is huge. That means doing the dishes. That means picking up your
gosh,
shoes and socks
yeah.
off the ground, which I'm terrible at. That's what that means. So we live in a
No,
different time now. That's what that means.
100%. There was a point where it was probably about 8 months after my son was born, where my wife had to jump my ass because, in all honesty, like I thought I was doing a good job with the Carson stuff, right? Like I was all in, bro. I don't know if you remember, but like I was diapers, I was bedtime, I was feeding, I was everything all the time. I jumped in head first, had no idea what I was doing. But where I started lacking was my daily stuff around the house. I was not picking up my, like, I'm not gonna say I wasn't doing the dishes and stuff, but like the chores and stuff, I was letting it go. Like I wasn't doing helping around the house as much as I should have been. Wasn't cleaning the bathrooms, wasn't mopping and sweeping like I should have been. I just wasn't participating because I was too focused on being this dad and trying to do all this like extra stuff and like look at me for what I'm doing over here. But really, I didn't find a balance between the two duties of being a husband and a father. And I was trying to do so much over here that I was lacking on the other hand. And that's kind of where I went out. And I didn't see it at first until my wife had to call me out on it and was like, okay, you're doing a great job here, but like, can I get some help out around the house? And I was like, I thought I was doing stuff. And she was like, no, when's the last time you freaking put a dish in the dishwasher? And I'm like, oh yeah, I've been washing baby bottles, but I've forgot to do the. And it's because honestly, where I was lacking, she was making up. But it's like I
Yeah.
was almost taking advantage of. Like she was making up for it for too long, and it was just wearing her out constantly, constantly. And I just didn't even notice it. I was too worried about Carson and all his little things that I wasn't even noticing all the extra effort she was having to put in behind me as I was going and trying to figure all this stuff out. So after she had told me that, I basically was like, yeah, no, I got to be accountable for what you're talking about. Yeah. So what did I do? Absolutely. Yeah, I set up a schedule where I'm like, okay, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, I'm gonna do this, and this, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, I'm gonna do this and this. And that was just to get me started in my routine. But now, that I'm 3 years in it, like I do what I got to do. Like she comes home from her workday after a 12-hour workday, everything's cooking. I got I got dinner going. I got the dishes cleaned up. I got the house, already picked up and around. She doesn't come home to clutter. You know what I mean? Because my wife sees stuff like hanging on the shelf, hanging on the floors, like it just bothers her, that clutter. You know what I mean? And that's like extra stuff that she has to put on her list. So when I take that all off of her plate, now she gets more time to be mom and be more wife and focus on me and Carson. So it made her a better version of herself. But it was just that little itty bitty conversation of, her holding me accountable for what I wasn't doing.
Well,
And
and if
it
she
made a
ever
huge
gets
difference.
she gets crappy with you, you can always just start taking things and moving them on the shelves and making things out of order. You can drive her nuts. That's what I would do. Would be awesome. Just take stuff off the
I
shelves,
sleep in
move
the
them.
same bed as her, bro. Like I'm not I'm not trying to do that.
You can't
Uh,
say it was you. Just saying move it.
what was it? One wise man told me when your wife asks you to do a new task, you do it wrong. That way, she'll never ask you to do it again.
It doesn't work. It
Have you
doesn't work.
tried it? Dang it!
That is
My wife
not a
probably.
thing.
Oh no, laundry is a thing because she has her way of doing laundry and I have my way of doing laundry, and for some reason it does not jive. I will wash the laundry. I'll do everything I can. I'll put the laundry away. I don't care. I'm all in. When you tell me, hey, let's do some laundry, I'm in. What I don't want you to hear is, hey, you're doing that wrong. No, I'm doing it my way. This is you want me to do the laundry. I'm gonna do the laundry. I'm not gonna Marie Kondo it just like you want to because she did the whole Marie Kondo whatever that was. She did all of it. She did great with it too. She loved it. But do you know who Marie Kondo is? Right?
No, but
No,
if it's not folding, like I
it's
just
basically
crumple my crap
folding.
up. But that's look.
No,
If you have a
she
real
wants the
problem with how I
hangers
do it,
facing
fair enough. Do it.
in the right. She wants
No, I'm
the
not doing all
hangers
that.
to be unison. Yeah, well, I'm with you. Like, if it takes a little second like that, like I'm cool. But like to fold things, particularly whatever, like these are my socks. This is my underwear drawer. This is my whatever. Like I'm gonna fold them how I want. They're still folded. They're just folded the way I want. So, like we had to adjust to those little micro things, and she just has to be happy with it. I'm doing. I'm gonna help with the laundry. I'm just gonna do it the way I want to do it.
Yeah, my
It's just
wife
part
gets
of
like
it.
that. So my wife will, if she has to go out of town for work or whatever for a long period of time, she'll have like this list of things for me to do with the kids or how to do things with the kids. Which for some of it, I need like where's the school? When time do you drop them off? What time? Because I'm usually at work before they drop them off at school and things like that. Like I'm cool with that. But we're gonna eat when we eat. We're going
Yeah,
to I'm going to clean them when I clean them. I'm going that that
you're on
is
my
what it is.
time. Trust that I'm going to do it. I may
I'm
not
gonna
do
do
it the
it.
way you want me to do it, but I'm going to do it, and that's kind of where it all comes in. And your wife will settle in with it. I'm sure Stace is used to it by now. The way
Once
that you are, and you're
once
gonna do it.
mama knows you got her back and you
It's
know
that's
she's
it.
got yours, it don't matter no
That's a better
more.
way to put it. Yeah.
It's fine.
Uh,
It'll work out.
so yeah, to wrap the question in the segment. Yeah, I mean, kids are gonna change your marriage. Um,
They should. If they didn't, you
and
didn't do
yeah,
it right.
they should
They
absolutely,
should.
and it's going to be rough at first if I'm being 100% honest. I've never seen a brand new parent
But
who isn't
careful.
stressed. You know what I
Careful.
mean? You're
Yeah.
it's going to
Oh,
look ugly at first. Even if you're second or third kid, it doesn't really matter. If you're in that infant phase or whatever, it's tough. I'm assuming it just gets harder the more you have. You know what I mean? When you got a you
you
got an
begin to
infant and a two,
understand
three, four.
how the dude shows up to work and forgets his kid in the back of the car or whatever, those terrible tragedies that you're like, how could you ever do
What?
that?
Well,
And
yeah,
but they're in la la land. They're tired. They're that
which is the
tired. They
funny
haven't
one.
slept. They haven't. It's crazy. You begin to
Where it's like
understand like, oh,
the mom will go to the soccer practice for their son and then leave soccer practice without their son and just be
yeah,
driving
that's
away and then like just look back and like, hey, oh,
exactly.
you did really good in soccer practice today, and he's not even in the seat. They're like, oh crap, have to turn back around and go get them.
Yeah,
Absolutely
it's
understand that. I
crazy.
get it. Yeah,
It's
no,
nuts.
that brain
That's
fog is 100% real.
yeah,
But at the
stuff.
opposite end of it, when you and your spouse come to the opposite end of it and things start to settle, because I remember Ryan telling me it's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. Things are gonna
Oh
get
yeah.
better. You're gonna come out of it, and everything's gonna get better. Not only did it get better, it's 1,000% better than I ever expected it to be. You know what I mean? When you have a little person, your little person, telling you about their day, telling you what you did awesome, how much they love you, and you're starting to have shared experiences with your kids. Like my son loved going to dinosaurs, so I took him to a dinosaur park. Having that shared experience with him is like the biggest and coolest things ever. Taking him on a Disney cruise and having that shared experience, and then him still referencing it. He was only 2 at the time, and he still references it now in his threes. And he was going into threes, but he still references it now as Mickey's boat. Like, hey, Dad, when are we gonna go back on Mickey's boat? When are we gonna go do this or that? Like, having those shared experiences with your kid is like 10 times better than I could
Oh yeah.
ever have like even put into words now. It's the what is it? The best part about parenting is seeing your kids grow up, but also the hardest part about parenting is seeing your kids grow up. You know what I mean? It's this weird double-edged sword of like you are so proud of your son and your kids all the time, but also like you want to hold on to your baby at the same time. It's this
Yeah.
crazy
Birthdays are
balancing
tough.
act that you do.
I remember
Oh
being
god.
annoyed by my
And
father. I'd be, I'd turn 10 or 11. I remember him being like, "No, you can't do that. No, don't do that. Don't." And he's playing, but it was like annoying. I would be like, "Yeah, okay, Dad. Like, you know how this works. I can't stop aging. Like, stop it."
so
Dude, my daughter's birthday is next month, and I literally felt it. I was like, "Oh, she's my youngest. And it's not slowing down." And I remember I looked at her right in her eye and be like, please do not, don't do it. But she's happy,
it kills
she's
you.
super happy about it. But it's
Yeah.
ugly. You're like, dang, that I missed a whole nother year because it always feels that no matter how much you spend with them,
No
it
matter
always
what
feels
you do,
like
bro, it
it's
feels like you
gone.
didn't do enough. Yes.
Yep.
Oh god, I hate it.
You lost it.
God.
Sad,
What is it?
sad,
There
but
was
it's
an
happy.
episode of you know who Bert Kreischer is?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's a
just a
stand-up
bird.
comedian.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he does
Always
the
takes his
Two
shirt
Bears,
off.
One Cave. One of the episodes he was talking about. They were talking about like they're comedians and they have to go work for a long times or whatever, and they got to be away from their family, and they're basically watching their kids grow up through their phones. And birthdays come around and how hard it is and stuff. And one of the other comedians asked like, Bert, how do you get through it? And he's like, he starts crying and he's like, what are you talking about? It's 10 in the morning and I have a glass full of whiskey here. This is how I get through it. I'm like, yes,
Yep.
yes, dude. Sometimes you
Yeah.
just got to get through it however you can. Yeah, it's tough to deal with. There's no coaching through this. There's no coaching through parent and then getting the feelings back behind it, dude. It's tough to deal with, but also it's the most beautiful thing to deal with. Dude, I saw a picture the other day on Facebook of your wife had posted. It was like Ashton walking your daughter to her classes, and it
Yeah.
blew my mind. I was like, how freaking awesome is that? Like your son is walking your daughter to her classes. Like it blew me
Oh yeah.
away. A, that they were in school together, and then B, like he was taking that time to like do that for his sister. Like it's one of them parenting times where like you're nailing it, even though it doesn't seem like it in the day to day, when you just get those little glimpses just like that. You know what I mean?
Good
Awesome.
kid. He's a good kid.
Yeah. Yeah. Ashton, if you're listening, that was awesome, dude.
He listens
Uh,
every week.
I know it's awesome. I
I
loved
love
it.
it.
I do.
So
Yeah,
goofy.
I love the shoot. I thought it was great, dude. I ain't gonna lie. Okay, so we'll go ahead and wrap it up there. Yes, it is tough. Yes, it's gonna change your marriage. Yes, you guys are gonna go through some stuff, but I'm telling you, if you put your head down, you do your thing as a dad, you keep showing up. It's gonna get better. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap that one up there, and then we're gonna kick off not Dadvise. We just did that. We're gonna kick off Pack News. There's the brain fog.
Bad news.
And so for the Pack News, baby, for this week of Pack News, we haven't really talked too much about football. We were kind of going to wait on Jordan to do this. Ryan and I are going to go give our predictions. The first one we're going to hit off is going to be the AFC East. And for those who don't know who the teams are, that is Miami, the Jets, the Bills, and New England. Currently, Miami is undefeated. Jets 1-1, Bills 1-1, and New England is 0-2 as of week 2. My prediction, as it currently stands, is I do think Miami's going to win the division. I got Buffalo second, and then it is a toss up of who wants to get the first overall pick between the Jets and the Patriots. If I had
I
to put a
think that
team there, I would see the Jets just because of the Aaron Rodgers injury. Which, dude, I feel so bad for the Jet fans. If you're a Jet fan, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. And the Eagles face you guys. Like I'm cool, but if you want to talk about bad luck, become a Jets fan. If you want bad luck, go be a Jets fan. You're gonna have some bad luck.
I don't feel bad for them. They have a good team still. Yeah, it sucks that Aaron
Did you
Rodgers, but
watch?
you
Did
came
you
in.
watch Zach Wilson? What are you talking about? What are you
They
talking
have a
about?
good team,
No,
man. They have a
no, they have a good defense.
unbelievable
Killer
defense.
defense. Yeah,
They
great
need
defense.
to solidify their QB a
They
little
got
bit more.
mollywopped by Dallas, but yeah, they got a good defense.
So far,
But
everybody's been destroyed by them. Did you see what the Giants
yeah,
did?
yeah, oh, absolutely. But do I think they're better than New England? No, I think currently New England's better because New England's got a good defense too. Probably not as good as
I'm,
the Jets, but oops. But
I'm
I think
still.
Miami wins that division with the Jets at the bottom.
I got. Well, I'm gonna go Buffalo. I don't. Not just not
You're
a.
not buying into early hype. I get it.
Mhm.
It's predicated on Tua. If Tua, because Tua has look, you can say what you want. Tua's been slinging that thing here lately.
You'll
All of it.
never see me say a good thing about Tua.
I know you
Never.
hate Tua. I don't know why, but you
He's
do.
an
I get it.
Alabama quarterback. Watch, I don't like AJ McCarron either. He's terrible.
So Jalen Hurts was an Alabama quarterback.
Mm,
You don't like Jalen either?
no,
Oh, okay. Well, shit. I mean, I don't know.
no. Look,
Okay.
is
Hey,
it
everyone's
can
got
Tua
to.
throw the ball?
If he
Tua,
doesn't come out of LSU, he ain't nothing, bro.
no, no, no.
Yeah, I mean, go
Everybody else is on
Tigers.
the table. I just can't stand Alabama. But
Well, look at Alabama now, bro.
Tua,
They ain't got a program anymore. It's the first
yeah,
time ever I've seen
they're
people
hurting.
getting,
They
dude.
are.
They were getting ran over, trucked, stiff armed into the ground. I've never seen an Alabama player that had that
Yeah,
happen to him.
they
Oh,
hurting.
ugly, but also beautiful at the same time.
I think Tua's good. Look, Tua's good. I loved Tyreek Hill, but I keep waiting for him to fall off. There's just no way you can be that fast for that long. But he, in my face, he still is, still doing great. Feel good for him.
Not only that, but they've got so much other like Jalen Waddle's the same thing, and he's young. He's got young legs. So Tua doesn't have to throw it to Hill every play, and then they also have a good tight end, and they have Mostert, who's a heck of a fast
Yeah,
running back too. So like they have super speed on that team, and you can just
I
blow
think,
people away like that, like you can. But
I think Buffalo's better.
I,
I think they had a tough first game, and they I think they'll be better. They'll be fine.
yeah,
I'll,
I'm with
I'll,
you. I think it's gonna come down to the end there between those two. Who's gonna stay healthy longest? Because if Tua goes out, their season's over. You know what I
Tua's
mean?
never
Just like
stayed healthy, not one
You're
time.
right. Yeah. If he makes it through the season, I think the Dolphins will win that division. But if he doesn't, I could see them obviously going out. But I'm gonna stick with Miami and being one, New England being two, or being last. No,
Right?
Jets being last. Yeah, Jets being last. Okay. AFC North: Baltimore, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. I'll let you go the first this one.
So it's hard because who I really think is going to win the division currently 0-2. They struggling.
But
Burrow's
they
got
went
the
0-2 last year at the beginning of the year.
yeah.
Cincinnati
I
went
think
0-2 last year at the beginning.
Burrow's got a busted like calf or something like that.
Calf. Yeah, he was limping off the last game. Yep.
I think the Browns are actually pretty good, but
The
I don't
defense
think
looks
they
great.
win. I think the Steelers are terrible. So
Oh, did I
that's
say?
who they're
I'm sorry. I
playing.
mean, Cleveland looks great. Cleveland's
Cleveland looks
defense looks
good.
great. Steeler looks terrible. You're correct. Yeah. No. No
I
belief in
would
them at all.
say I would. I got to
That's a
go
tough one.
Bengals, Ravens, Browns, Steelers. I don't want to go that way, but that's. I don't think the Ravens. They look really good, but the Lamar Jackson has a hard time staying healthy too.
You're right, but Lamar Jackson is the only quarterback who got paid this offseason isn't actually doing good. All the rest of them that got paid aren't doing anything. Jalen isn't doing anything. Hurts isn't doing anything. Burrow's not doing anything.
Burrow, the
Herbert's not doing
highest
anything.
paid in the NFL
Yes.
right
Yeah, like,
now.
they're all
Doing
doing
terrible.
nothing, bro. He's the only one that's actually doing decent, which is
Busted
crazy to
82
me. But
yards
yeah,
first game. Oof, that's tough.
jeez. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got the same thing. I think Burrow will bounce back eventually if he does. But if he gets healthy down the stretch, that offense is just too explosive. It's really weird right now. We're only week 2, but it's been very, very defensive lately. Like I don't know if
been
the offenses are just behind or if it's like the lack
very
because of the
weird.
preseason or whatever's going on. But it's a very defensive league right
I
now.
think I think that the NFL's catching up with the pass game. Everything always
Yeah,
gets cut up. They devalued the running back position to as much as I've ever seen this year, current year,
ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
and
And running
now
backs are killing people.
it's a whole different thing now. You're going to have to run the ball. The defense is they've kind of figured it out. They're not going to give you enough time to throw the ball, or that you're covered. They're doing a
Yep.
pretty good job. So
But yeah, no, I think they're
we'll see.
doing the defenses are great, which it makes for boring football unless you're a fan like us. I love that old smash mouth kind of stuff like that, which is great.
Oh,
But
it's been great.
yeah,
Been good.
I've been enjoying the last couple of weeks. All
Hard
right, so
hard fantasy.
I'm with you. Yeah, it's hard to predict who's going to do what in fantasy.
Been tough.
But anyways, yeah, I agree with you. Exactly where you are is kind of where I'm at with it. I do think Bengals will eventually pull it out. Maybe that's what she said. All right, AFC South: Jacksonville, Colts, Tennessee, and Houston. This is arguably between them and the NFC South, probably the two worst divisions in the league currently.
Two
But this
greatest
one might be
turds.
the
Yeah, that they have some of the biggest turds of teams in there. However, could be good.
I got Jacksonville winning. Just saying, Dougie P's got a pretty good squad. He's he's doing all right with it. He played Kansas City well in the week too, well enough to where didn't
Yeah,
really impress
really
me,
good.
but at the same time, like he can get some things going. Ridley's look really good. He's
Mhm.
to me he's looked week 2 is a little rough, but week 1 was great. So
Etienne,
if I had to rank this
solid running
out,
back.
yeah, absolutely. I'd say Jacksonville, Tennessee, Colts, Houston.
Okay, so here's my problem with this division. I really want to say the Titans will win the division. I
Really?
think I think
Why?
Tannehill's the one of the worst quarterbacks of all time.
Easily. Yeah.
And they
But
keep
you know
giving
what?
him
This week
money.
though,
He keeps
and
playing pretty good too. He the
but he's
first week he
doing
had
just
three
enough,
picks.
bro. Yes.
I, I so
Like
I it's hard for me to. I just think that he's not played that way. He's played decent. I
it's like
just
the
think he's
Tua thing.
terrible.
Yeah, it's like the Tua thing. He's clearly got the numbers, but he just doesn't jive with you. I get it. No,
The
I'm with you. I
Jags,
think he's the
I
epitome
just
of just mediocre.
the, the Jags. I don't get them. They look really good, but I don't get them.
Sometimes.
So I want to.
Sometimes they do.
Then you looked at the Colts where you got Richardson, who was already out because they won
Yeah.
based off just running him, which he's really good at. But yeah, I'm gonna go Jags, Titans, Texans, Colts. And I say Texans because if if
Wow.
they if they didn't, because I got look, I'm a Schultz comes from the Cowboys. Once they figure out how to use him, he's a receiving tight end. He's really
He ain't
good.
done nothing. Yeah, I agree.
Then they ain't got him the ball. But every time I would switch back to the Texans game, Stroud was getting sacked. So it was
But
like,
he's
well, does
looked
he
good
even
though.
have
I ain't
time?
gonna lie to you.
He's
I
been pretty
think out of
good.
the
Yes,
two, yeah, out of between Young and him, I think he's looked the best out of the
yes,
two. Yeah,
absolutely. He's
he's
looked
been
pretty
slinging it.
good. The
And
tag
I
guy
like their
tagged
coach too.
him. Looks good.
Yeah,
Yeah, the coach,
D'Amico Ryan's great.
D'Amico
I think he's
Ryans
gonna be. I think he's gonna be
used
great
to
for
be
them if they
awesome.
can stick with him. Yeah,
Then you have Pierce as the running back. I think he's great. So I think they have a better team than they're showing right now. So, and I don't think the
I gotta
Colts
get that
do.
line upgraded.
I think that they just don't.
Which
They're
is
gonna fail.
crazy because they have some talent there, but obviously lackluster. When they have our old offensive coordinator Shane Steichen went over there, and he basically got a Jalen Hurts, and obviously we saw how that what happened there. Okay,
Yep.
let's go to the AFC West. This is Las Vegas, Kansas City, Chargers, and Denver.
Me,
You got this one, yeah.
let me
You
go
got this
first.
one. Sorry. Yeah.
So I'm gonna hurt my own feeling. First of the year, like, you can't go away from the Chiefs. But here's my problem with them: they don't catch the ball. So, killing my fantasy, pick, killing me. It's
You
killing. They
remember
can't
when
catch
we
the ball.
argued about it?
Yeah,
Taking
they
Mahomes in the
can't catch
second
the
round.
dude. Mahomes keeps nailing people in the hands, and they
I
keep
know he
not
does.
catching the ball.
Yeah.
It's insane. That it's so I'm not gonna. I'm going Chargers, Chiefs,
Stop. Stop.
Broncos, Raiders.
You're crazy. Chargers, Chiefs, Bronco. Okay.
Chargers are good.
Are they? Because they're 0-2 right now.
They're good.
Okay. I think divisionally they're going to have a struggling time, and it's
Yeah.
Kellen Moore. I think that Kellen is he has a very good
Yes,
offense,
it is.
but if
Yes.
it could be
Mm.
way overcomplicated, and I think that's why Dak threw so many picks last year is because you have one route tree for one receiver that can go 18 different ways. So then you just don't know where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be. You got to have
Yeah.
a lot of trust, and like he has a very complicated offense. And even as good as Dak is, like he struggled in it, obviously. So I think you're seeing a big improvement here now because he's not there. But I'm sorry, I can't go away from Andy Reid. Here's the problem with Kansas City. I like Andy. I like Kansas City as one, but the reason why I don't like them down the stretch is not because of the receivers. I think the receivers are figured out. I think they're missing Eric Bieniemy. I think they're missing Eric Bieniemy because he left and went to the Commanders, and look at the Commanders'
Mhm.
offense from last year to this year.
Yeah, they're good.
Completely different. They're scoring points. They're moving the ball around. I know Andy Reid's the freaking man. I'm not knocking Andy Reid at all. All I'm saying is some of the creativity we might have overdone saying that it was all Andy Reid, and now I'm starting to think that we're starting to see that maybe Eric
Oh
Bieniemy
yeah.
had more of a hand in this than we thought. And so we'll see, obviously, how it shakes out week 4, 5,
We
6, 7,
can't
how it
tell
kind of does.
because they won't catch the ball. To be
Right.
fair,
That's also a part of
they
it too. Yeah.
they keep getting hit in the hands and they keep dropping the ball. It's
But there's
sad.
like also the separation's not there too. Like the weird separation that Kansas City's always had with its receivers is just isn't there. And I think that that's where Bieniemy was great at was he was able to die even if he didn't have fast receivers, he was always able to scheme his receivers to be open, and it's kind of not that way right now. Obviously, we're just in week 2, so I really don't know.
And
But we'll see
I
how that
watched
pans out. But I think
Kelsey drop. I watched their other, whoever their other guy that tight end is. He dropped a touchdown. It was like, what are y'all doing? And then
it's
they're
crazy.
good enough. They catch the ball
Yeah.
all the time. I don't
Just
get it.
hit their own heads, dude. Right. Hit the jugs. All right, I got Kansas City, Chargers, Denver, Vegas. I bought into the T last year, Vegas. I will not make that mistake again. We are out on Vegas. It's not happening.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's not happening. All right. Who do you think is going to be your Super Bowl contender coming out of the AFC? Out of all those teams, pick one.
Mm,
We'll pick one
just
for
just
NFC after.
one.
Just one. Who's your contender if you had to pick one?
I'm gonna go Bengals. I'm going Bengals.
A solid choice. I'm gonna go Kansas City
If I
again.
didn't go Bengals, I would go Buffalo.
Buffalo's a good one too. If I had a top 3 of them, it'd probably be Kansas City, Buffalo, then Bengals at this point. But I just can't. At this point, I'm not rooting against the Chiefs. Like it's just not happening. They prove me wrong every time I go against them.
Yeah.
I think they'll figure it out down the stretch. And their defense is really good. I don't know where
Yeah,
they got this defense at. Their defense just came out of nowhere. So I think
yeah.
offensively, once they figure it out, defense is going to be great. They'll win it down the stretch. So that's where I'm going with there. Let's head up to NFC North. Green Bay, Detroit, Minnesota, and Chicago. This is a tough one because it's also a crap division as well currently. But I'll go first with this one here. I got Detroit winning the division. I got Green Bay going second, Minnesota going third, and then Chicago. God, I hope they just get a win at this point because good God, Justin Fields looks ugly.
So bad. Yes.
Hey, dude, when you have commentators who are just commentators, literally laughing at you on Sports Center because there's 3 wide open receivers, and he had wide open receivers in front of him, and then randomly he just took off running and ran into a sack, ran into it, not away from it, ran
Yeah.
into it. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. Maybe he's in over his head. I don't know what's going on with Justin Fields. He clearly has the talent. I hope they figure it out.
Oh yeah. Athletically, he got it.
He's got it. Yeah,
not working. But
Detroit.
I'm pretty close to you.
Detroit looks great.
Detroit looks so good. So
They
I would
look great.
go Detroit. Only difference I'd have is I go Vikings, then Green Bay,
Okay.
then Chicago. Even though Green Bay
You know
looks
what's
good.
weird? I think Green Bay looks good too, but it's weird that I kind of want Minnesota to have some success. It's weird. Like Kirk Cousins is so
They look
underrated
good,
for what
man.
he does.
Yes,
Sometimes,
he's good.
and sometimes they look confused and like they just lost to the Eagles in prime time, and it wasn't Kirk Cousins' fault. Everyone always says it's Kirk Cousins
No,
in prime time.
it's not
It
his fault.
wasn't his fault.
Minnesota
No.
handed the Eagles that game. Handed it to him.
Yeah.
Fumbled it to their
Absolutely.
hands 3 times.
4
It
times.
was stupid. Was it 4 times? So
I loved
bad.
it. I loved it. Thank
Like,
God we
good
needed
God.
every single one of them. Yeah,
Terrible.
it was terrible. It was terrible, and it wasn't Kirk Cousins at all. So I think that was kind of unfair to put on him. But man,
Oh, he had a good game.
yeah, and he started to win. I saw the Netflix series Quarterback. If you haven't seen it yet, it's pretty good.
That's good. Yeah.
Good dude. He's good. He's kind of awkward, but a good dude. You like that?
Yeah.
That iconic.
He's
Okay,
funny.
so we're pretty close there. I don't think that they're going to make a Super Bowl run into this division, but I do think Detroit is a hell of a team. Could make a good playoff run.
Yep.
Okay, let's head to NFC South. It's Atlanta, Tampa Bay, New Orleans, and Carolina. You go ahead and kick this one off.
Okay, so look, this is a turd of a division, and so the Falcons look good, but not really.
Yeah.
Like they have a very good running game. Riddler or whatever his name is.
Bijan looks
He-
unbelievable.
hey,
He
Robinson
is
does look.
saucing people
He's
up,
a
bro.
killer. Yes, so he
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 is
looks good.
killing people.
Algier, whatever his name is, he's pretty
He's
daggum
got
good
it too. Yeah,
too.
he was a 1,000-yard
It,
running back last year too.
yeah, it's like dang. Okay, they have a good running game, and that is all.
And there's still
So,
Cordell Patterson there too, and they have Drake London. They have a good outside game.
yeah,
If they
and
could
then
ever
look
get Kyle Pitts the ball, that would be great too. But that never happened. So
that I think that the quarterback's the issue there, but he seemed to do okay. So I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go that route. The Bucks. Look, I'm not a Baker
you're a
Mayfield
Baker.
hater.
Yeah, I knew
I'm
it.
not a hater,
You're a hater. Yes, you are.
but he's
You
not
you
that
don't.
good. He's not
Yeah, I
that
think he's a
good.
little. I think he's a little overhyped right now. But I kind of agree.
Yeah, I'm not a believer. Then I'm gonna go Saints and then Panthers. It, look, the Panthers that are rebuilding. The the Saints,
We'll see.
like I don't. Yeah,
Derek Carr is
not a.
just a step up above what they've had. But they've got good
He's
receivers there. Michael Thomas looks okay. When they get Alvin Kamara back, I think they're really going to start opening it up. But we'll
yeah, they
see.
could be better. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm with you. I think kind of. I'm stuck between New Orleans and Atlanta. I think one of them two are going to win. But if I had to guess, I'm going to say New Orleans because they're a little more trusted. So I would go New Orleans, Atlanta, Tampa Bay, Carolina.
Okay.
We'll see down the stretch what happens there. All right. NFC West, San Francisco, LA Rams, Seattle, and Arizona. I'll go first with this one here. And this is, to me, this is an easy division to kind of call off. San Francisco looks unbelievable. We all might be facing or playing for second place. Maybe not Dallas, but Philly. I at this point in what's going on this season, we have nothing for San Francisco. If we face them right now, we would get dominated completely. CMC looks amazing. Purdy looks pretty good. Their receivers, Ayuk and what's his name, look awesome. Their defense is unbelievable.
Yep.
Everyone's playing for second place in that division except for them. So the surprise out of this so far has been the Rams, and I do think the Rams are going to take second. I don't know how. This Puanuka dude looks really good. Stafford looks way better than he did last year. Don't know what's going on with all that, but I got San Francisco, Rams, Seattle, and Arizona. Arizona
Yeah,
just needs
I
the
got the
Arizona needs a
same.
tank. They need a tank. Just tank it, bro. Send us
They're
Buda Baker while you're at it too, please.
you're gonna let the Redskins come back on you. Like it. You're last. You're
Oh
last.
my god.
You,
Yeah,
terrible.
it was
That's
terrible.
come on.
Terrible. I'm with you.
A 49ers, same thing. Dude,
Unbelievable.
they have so many weapons, massively. Like
The Eagles got so
even
lucky to win against them last year. I don't know.
Purdy. Like, how did he come from? Like it's insane that he's that good, but he's
To
pretty
be
daggum
Mr.
good.
Irrelevant and to sling it like he does now,
So good.
dude is better
But
than most of the quarterbacks up. In the league currently.
same
No
thing.
hate.
I'm not
I'm a
a
Philly fan.
Couch
No hate.
believer.
Love it. Yeah.
Uh, Rams are doing good. Yeah, I give them second.
Second.
So yeah, same
Seattle.
thing.
Same order.
Yes.
All right. That's probably the easiest one to go to. Here's the struggle with this one here. Not really. I would did last one, so this is the last division, but NFC East, Dallas, Philly, Washington, and the Giants. I'll let you go first.
So I'm gonna go Dallas, Eagles,
Mhm.
Washington, Giants.
Yeah.
That it's not the Eagle. Here's my problem with the Eagles. They're doing the same thing they did last year, but they have like this really slow start, but it looks worse and sluggish this year. They could fix that, and that changes everything. But they have this really weird, like not aggressive, weird start to every game, and then by like the third and fourth quarter, they look really good. But dude, you can't do that against San Fran this year. I don't think you can make it.
You can't do it
You
against
can't do that.
Dallas. What are you talking
You can't
about?
do it against
No.
Dallas. Or are you gonna struggle? That is, the defense is awesome by the Eagles. They have a huge offense. The maybe the best offensive line, top three at least. Um,
Oh yeah, I think best
so
offensive line.
why
Yeah, for
why
sure.
in the
And
world
defensive
are
line.
we looking at them watching going, and I'm texting Joey back and
What?
forth going like, what are y'all doing? What, like, designed runs for Hurts? Why?
Every other play. Yeah. Run our running back for 2 yards, then run Jalen Hurts for
You
1
get him
yard or
hurt, now what?
probably a loss. Yeah, and then randomly throw a weird screen pass that never works out, or like a weird post pass, and you're like, "What are we doing? Why we don't have to throw it 30 yards? Just check it down, and get the 10 yards." It's really strange. And then we're 3 and out and gone. You're like, "Oh, okay." And then it's the next
And
thing. Jalen Hurts run, a weird pass. Jalen Hurts run, 3 and out. And you're like, what are we doing? And then finally they bust it open because we have the best offensive line in the entire game, and
start running the ball,
anybody
and it
can
was
run
over.
back
Yeah.
there. And yeah, 175. And Swift is like that anyways. Everybody knows this. It's not
Yeah.
like Swift was a secret. Everybody knew in Detroit he was a good running back. So then
Yeah.
you put him behind the best offensive line, and oh my God, look what happened! It was the craziest thing ever. You don't even have. We had AJ Brown on the sidelines throwing a fit because we couldn't get him the ball. Shut up, AJ Brown. You don't need the ball. Today's not your day. You're gonna have a day. You will have a day, but it wasn't
Yeah.
that day. We needed you to block. We needed you to do
Yeah.
that. I don't know what happened. We just needed some trench warfare. We got it. We won. And I think that's what's going to be identity going forward because that's our strength. RPOs are the Eagles. We need
Yeah.
you need to be scared that we're going to break off a 20-yard run. And you also need to be scared that A.J. Brown could go for 40 yards on you. That's what we need. And once
If
they
you're going
find
to
that
beat the
balance,
Cowboys, you're going to run. You have to run the ball. You're not going to pass it on us. That's
oh, yeah.
you
guys
have
are
to
scary.
start
Oh, yeah.
with the run.
Yeah.
We have that is our weak point, and that's where you guys are going to have to do it at. And you can't start sluggish on us. You can't.
No.
That is like what was that?
I have no idea.
Last year y'all did a lot of that too, but you figured it out faster. I don't know. It just seemed different. This was so unaggressive.
It's because we have a new play caller because Nick Sirianni doesn't call the plays. We have a new offensive coordinator and a new defensive coordinator. Neither one of them coordinators have ever called a play in the NFL before their first game this year. Neither one of them. So you got basically a similar offense, but with new wrinkles. But he doesn't know to call what plays to call. So he's just calling familiar plays and what he thinks is tempo and scripted, which doesn't need to be doing that. You need to be reading what they're like, making your adjustments as your game goes. And then at the second half, when you make your adjustments, that looks really good. When we make our adjustments, our adjustments and we look good. But it's that first part after you get out of your first 2 scripted series, it's like he's confused. The side doesn't know what to do. And sometimes he's confused. But that's a defensive coordinator. Offensive coordinator is the same way. He looks confused. And then Jalen Hurts is out there confused. Like, are we running the same play again? For real?
Weird.
Okay. It was crazy. It was weird. And I'm not taking anything away from the last 2 games we played. The Patriots defense is a good defense. And it was a rainy game. And the Vikings defenses has good playmakers on there. They're not that great, but they're good enough. You know what I mean? So like I'm not taking away from them.
They
but we should
handed y'all the ball, and you should have blown them out.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and I think we did at the end, but imagine if we would have actually had it together in the beginning. It'd have been unbelievable. It'd have been what Dallas did to the Giants. But I digress. Here's what I got to say about Dallas, and I'm going to tell you this. I do think Dallas is going to win the division, but the reason why is not. It depends on y'all's health, because what Philly had last year was that we were healthy down the road, and that I don't know what happened. We just had a magical run where nobody really got season-ending kind of stuff. Philly's already got 2 players on season-ending injuries, like it's done for them. 2 of our starters. Terrible. That's already more than where we were last year.
Us too.
Terrible.
So you know.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. So you guys could be going through the same thing. But the thing about last year was Philly was out there balling and everybody was having fun. Everybody was smiling. We had the whole Batman thing, skinny Batman, fat Batman. Like the team had this personality and this persona. When you knew you were facing the Eagles, we were just going to do what we wanted and we were going to laugh and smile about it. We had Coach Sirianni on the sideline throwing up and laughing at people and stuff. Like, they had this like awesome vibe to them last year, and it was like this weird energy that was like freaking awesome. They don't have that again this year, and I don't know why. Dallas has that. Dallas has that energy right now to where it's like you guys are out there and you guys are having fun and you guys are just playing ball at this point, and you guys look unbelievable, and it's on both sides of the ball. Dak is out there slinging it like he's never thrown an interception before, which is hilarious to me. And he's got some personality. He's got some. Before, Dak has always been this nice guy, this very scripted and kind of like doesn't want to say anything out of pocket. Now he's like, you know what? Hey, I don't want to take any more questions about the interception thing. We're moving past that. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, Dak, it's a new year. I don't know if you saw his press conferences, but yeah, he's kind of getting a little chippy in these press conferences, and I'm like, yeah, you kind of need to get chippy with these people because they're good. You're the quarterback of America's team. You know what I mean? Like that, you got to kind of do that. Yeah, stop it. The stupidest thing. It's the stupidest thing.
Come on.
Anyways,
It's fun.
but I think if they stay healthy down the stretch, man, Dallas is going to win this, and Dallas is going to make a good playoff push. In the playoffs, I can see it easily being Dallas and San Francisco. That being said, my NFC pick though is going to be San Francisco, just because their levels of layers of players that they have. Like CeeDee Lamb is good, but like their receiving, like Dallas's receiving core isn't as good as San Francisco's. Dallas's running backs isn't as good as San Francisco's.
No.
I think offensive line for San Francisco is better. I think the quarterback play for Dallas is better. But at most levels, I think San Francisco is just slightly better than Dallas. Just slightly better.
I actually think we're better. I hate saying it out loud because I think I'm more of a pessimist. I prefer to be.
No doubt. I mean, you should though. I mean, yeah, no, you should.
But I think we're better.
I get why.
I think right now
is unbelievable.
I don't think Purdy has enough time to throw the ball when we play him.
Are you saying that you think the Dallas Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl? This is your year.
I will not say that. I think that we can beat San Fran.
You don't want to live up to the cliche. Come on.
No, I'm not that guy.
Come on.
I'm not that guy. Look,
I hate to say it. If you did say that, this would be the first year ever as a Philly fan that I could say like, yeah, I think you guys might be onto something this year. I ain't gonna lie to you.
We have a good chance. Like
you have the best chance I've ever seen.
I'm not gonna tell you we will beat San Fran. I think we can. Last year, I would have told you that I don't think we can.
Yeah,
I don't think we can.
Last year you guys had the Eagles winning the division, and you were right.
I did not think we could beat Philly.
Every year I have always thought that Dallas and the Eagles will always split, and they normally do. This is the first year that I can actually say, from what I've seen so far, I think Dallas is going to run the division. I mean, run the division.
I think that
Washington. Have we power ranked them? It's gonna be Dallas, Philly. On my
Washington
side, Dallas, Philly. Yeah, Washington Giants. Yeah, same thing. Yeah, the Giants. We'll see. They're so weird, but Redskins.
They came back. It's what's stupid though that the Redskins came back. That was stupid.
That was stupid. They let that go.
Yeah, that's.
I do like Bieniemy over there, and I think he's going to be great for them. I think he needs to be.
Oh yeah, the Sam Howell kid. He's not that good, but they're making him look good.
Yeah, I mean, look, Terry McLaurin has always just needed a guy to get him the ball, and I think finally he actually got him a guy that can actually get him the ball. So, step in the right direction. They got good running backs. They have an awesome defensive line. Their secondary is a little questionable. So, I think third is about right for them. But are they going to split with Philly? Probably. They did it last year with Heineke. They split with us last year with Heineke, and I think Howell's an upgrade from him. So, I can see them doing that. They served their first loss last year.
I think that Tony Romo gave called a good game, and showed me some things that I wouldn't notice in like how fast the calls come in, how fast the offense gets in with him calling the plays. That makes a huge difference. It was like the seconds were. It was like half the time that most teams get their offensive of game plan up to the and play calls up. That was pretty interesting.
I just realized how dark it is in my room. Sorry.
It's very dark.
Yeah. I didn't. Hold on. Boom.
There we go.
I should have been doing that. Yeah. No. So I think
the play calling.
Which come on, can we stop getting Tony Romo calling Cowboy games? Like, come on, that shouldn't be allowed. Just like Troy Aikman shouldn't be allowed to. Oh my God, Troy Aikman will write them. It's terrible, bro.
Troy knows what time it is. He getting paid, man. He getting paid.
Yeah, to be a Cowboy fan and commentator. Okay, bum. Okay, so who's your Super Bowl predictions?
I'd say most likely it's Bengals and San Fran. What's the most likely scenario? It could be Miami. It could be Buffalo.
Yeah, I think I got the Chiefs and San Fran, which is a repeat of one that we saw a couple years ago. So, okay, buddy, give me 1 second, okay? Okay, well there you go.
Yeah.
We'll stop it right there for the episode. We appreciate you guys for hanging out with us and talking with us. Hope you guys like the content. If you do, like, share, follow, hit that bell on YouTube, or leave us a comment. Tell us what you think. Are we right? Are we wrong? Who's going to win the Super Bowl? We don't know. Let us know your thoughts. And until the next episode, we'll see y'all then.